I went from booking between 30 to 40 calls a month to 80 to 90 calls plus a month for an info product coaching company, generating over 300 to 350k of cash collected in just a matter of months. And in this video, we're going to cover and break down the exact systems, frameworks, and methodologies that I use to be able to achieve that. Now, just so that you can see this is real, I've got screenshots of all the bookings that I made. These just took place in a couple of months, so I believe. I think I literally booked between 300 to 350 calls and generated multiple high-ticket client payments. You can see 8K, 4K, another 8K. This is 7K made by the same person. So you can see these systems and methodologies clearly work and have generated hundreds of thousands for an info product coaching company. So let's dive straight into it. So the first thing that really drove me to success with this was having a strategic in place daily follow-up sequence. Now, what I mean by this is a prospect might follow your page or opt into whatever sequence or page that you have that it is, and they might not actually respond to you on the first time you try to initiate with them. So it's super, super key that you have a strategic script or framework in place to be able to continue following up with them on a daily basis until they either get back to you or you sent 6, 7, 8 messages plus and they haven't got back to you. At that point, they're no longer going to be interested. But obviously, as you can see here, I've had to blank out kind of details to not give who the offer away that is I work for and give away client details. But you can see here, try to initiate on day one. This is actually this month, 9th December. Try to initiate again the next day, and then initiate it again another day, and then finally this person got back to us. And that's as simple as it can be, just being persistent, just keeping on top of them. And they got back to us, hey, my friend gave me your account. I've been looking into what you're doing, and kind of, just a vague interest. But even that vague interest is just enough to work with and enough to qualify and potentially even book them to a call or nurture them and get them booked into a call later down the line. But we're going to discuss that more later in the video. So it's actually quite interesting. I kind of ran stats on this myself on my own kind of bookings, and I found that out of all the conversations that I'd had, only 30% of those conversations actually replied in the initial message that I gave to them. Then it took 3 messages to get 70% of those conversations engaged, and then obviously by 5 messages, that was kind of the maximum number of messages I sent before I marked someone as kind of just inactive and dead. Only then did I get up to all my conversations being engaged, obviously. So if your appointment setters now are only making 1-2 attempts to really engage leads, then you're potentially missing out on 50% plus of your potential leads, potential bookings, and therefore potential revenue and cash made at the end of the day. So and then by the time I'd gone through the sequence as well, that led to about 40% of all engagements covered. So every message sent, of all those messages sent, about 40% of those people got back to me and responded in some capacity. So these are the kind of rough stats that you really should be looking for. Obviously, it depends on the size of audience, quality of audience, the offer you run, all this kind of stuff. So it can vary, but that's what I measured out for my offer. It's the same thing here, right? This person actually took 4 messages to get properly engaged. So, hey, just reached out once, reached out again the next day. 2 days later, tried reaching out again. Another day later, reached out again, and then only then did they really get back to us. Hey, I'm actually, interested in starting doing exactly what we teach them to do, which is fantastic. So, had this person been left here and waited to respond, this person actually ends up becoming a client, so we never would have got this person, and they might have been left off. Now, one thing that kind of helped this and make this even more effective was in one of those initial kind of initiation messages, I used to include a organic video from the business owner's YouTube just to send to them, because sometimes that would prompt people to have something to talk about. If they haven't replied to your initiation type messages, sometimes sending them with just a quick video might prompt them to go away and watch the video, even if they're not responding to you. In the background, they just might be doing that themselves. And then maybe a couple of days later, they actually go back to you like, hey, I checked out the video. I found this quite interesting. I'd like to talk more about this. That can happen. So kind of including a video in that sequence really helps. And obviously this kind of leads me onto the second part of kind of what helped with my success a lot with this, which was using organic content as a way of nurturing people in the DMs. It was a more effective way of getting them to understand certain concepts or certain mindsets that we would need them to believe before getting them booked into a call. And because these come from the business owner as well, obviously they're coming with authority and experience and all of that good stuff. So, they want to go away and watch these. So what I would do with something like this is you want to have videos covering a number of different topics. Now, typically what you want to do, you definitely want to have one or two videos explaining what exactly your business model is. Now, you want to get niche with this as well. So you might be in e-com, for example, but you want to explain specifically what your niche within e-com is. Like, what particular strategy do you use? Why is it the best strategy? Or you might be in trading. You might have a specific type of trading methodology or trading strategy. So you want to have a video breaking down just exactly what it is, just so people can understand what it is you teach and what you do and what you offer. So that's super, super key. And you can say them like, this is pretty bad one, but like what is drop shipping, or like how to build your own agency, 0 to 10K. You can basically just look at headlines, titles, other people in your niche, or other people in kind of direct competitor niches, and try and get an idea for what they're titling their most successful videos, and then to basically copy those and apply them to your own niche. Another good category video to have as well was like mindset and belief type handling videos. So these come in use quite a lot, especially when people are giving you specific objections or it's like limiting beliefs in DMs. You can actually reframe those in order to get them booked into a call, and that did happen a significant portion of the time. So this is one really clever video we had titled, and this is called "Why I'd Invested £20,000 into my education before getting started with property," which is what the business owner did. He's a property investor. So this is something that was true to him and something that he believed in, which was investing in your education. And obviously we had to get our prospects to get in this mindset and get in this frame of mind before even getting on a call with us, so that they're more likely to buy and more likely to work with us. And podcasts are another great way of obviously being handling this too. If you've got 60 minutes to 90 minutes of content that you can send someone, you're more likely to be able to indoctrinate them and get them to be inspired by your mindset, your beliefs, your attitude and work ethic. And so that's what you want. You basically want people coming onto the call with the same mindset and same frame of reference and beliefs as you in order to buy. So another great type of video to have: student interviews. Always amazing if you want to give out testimonials before the book's call actually happens. And you can just say this is something quite eye-catching, like, hey, here's how my client Jonathan built 100k a month e-com store, or something else similar to this, like David's story from waiter to millionaire trader. You just want something that's quite eye-catching, a little bit clickbaity perhaps, so they do ensure they are going to want to watch it. And what you can do as well is always send your prospects a testimonial or student interview of someone that they're going to relate to. So if your prospect in the DMs is, let's say they're 25, kind of trying to get into some kind of biz op opportunity, then you're going to, and maybe some specific country, specific ethnic background, then you're going to want to send them a student interview of someone like them, so they can see that, okay, if this person can do it, they came from a similar background to me, had a similar past, similar history, then there's absolutely no reason why I can't do this too. And then the last type of video you want to have as well is also objection handling type videos. So one thing you should do when you're making organic content is write down for yourself what objections are coming up on your sales calls. So you can actually do this. Go through your list of sales calls, write down what specific objections you're getting in regards to your offer. And what you can do is just handle these with kind of just like good quality, talking straight to the camera type videos. So one that we had, an objection we were getting a lot in the past was, this is something that I want to start with, but I'm going to want to start this 6 months time, 12 months time, when I've got this current project out of the way and I've kind of got enough time to put into this. And we were getting this so often that the owner actually decided to sit down and record a great video called "Why Getting Started Now is Better Than Getting Started Later." And it kind of ties back to this mindset, belief handling as well. You need to have them to pre-install those objection handles, pre-install those limiting beliefs, so that they come to the call in the same mindset as you, kind of ready to buy. So that's essentially it. And what you'll notice as well is these are the kind of order of beliefs and understandings that someone needs to go through in order to go from a stranger to what you do in order to become a buyer, right? So someone's going to go through your content. Obviously, they first need to understand what it is exactly you do. Like, just straight up, this is what I do. This is what I teach people. That's the first thing they need to understand. The second thing they need to understand is beliefs, mindset, work ethics, attitude, that kind of thing, in order to become more like you and more like to have success. Then obviously the next stage to these the kind of buyer's journey is seeing success with how you teach it and how you get people results in that niche of what you teach. And obviously the last thing to overcome is their objections towards getting started with that, or objections towards potentially becoming a buyer. So yeah, this is really the line of beliefs that someone needs to go through to go from being stranger to a buyer, basically. So that covers that. So obviously another good thing you can do with organic content, and I think like it became apparent to me just how powerful some of this stuff can be, is again using your kind of organic content as a lead magnet to get people to kind of identify themselves and stand out in the DMs. Now, when I was setting people, this is just coming from an Instagram page, it was quite a small page. We're setting from like a secondary account from the business owner's main page, had about 7,000 followers. But one thing I realized was super effective was I was allowed to kind of post on the stories of that page, and I would just post like lead magnet type of things, just like, hey, today I'm dropping a free masterclass on how you can go from 0 to 10k a month with this strategy. I don't normally give this out to people for free, but just for today, I'm going to give this away. So DM me this word and I'll send you the video. Now, from quite a small page, if I said just 5,000 to 7,000 people, I could put out a story that might get 800, 900 views. I would typically get quite high engagement from that, like 30 to 50 inbound replies commenting the keyword that I've given out. And yeah, you can see examples of this here, right? So there's a few examples. Again, I've had to kind of blank out names, pictures, faces, just to keep the offer kind of confidential. But yeah, people we hadn't spoken to in months would come forward, call themselves out, and we could say, hey, what was it that actually got you interested in learning more about this? So yeah, happens quite frequently. So people will re-engage with you haven't spoken to in months, or leads that you thought were dead, inactive, will actually come forward. And yeah, you can send them this video, give them a few days to watch it, follow up in a few days, and just say, hey, how do you find this? Is it something you're going to get started with? Or just like try and qualify their interest and try and see if there's someone you can book into a call. Because you can do this once a week. If you're getting 30 to 50 new inbound replies a week, even if 10% of those convert, then that's another 3 to 5 calls this week that you've got on your calendar that potentially might turn into clients and therefore revenue. So 100% definitely worth doing. Now, the last thing we're going to cover today is all about actually building and nurturing your pipeline. Now, just how closers and salespeople have to stay on top of their pipeline in terms of who they're following up with, who's going to be buying in the next couple of days, who might be buying in the next month or so, and having a way to track and reach out to those people. If you're appointment setting too, you also need to have a really solid system like this in place. Because to be honest, the majority of calls that I ever booked in probably came from follow-ups from people like a week ago, month ago, however long it is. It was actually quite uncommon that someone would opt in or someone would follow the page, and I would book them into a call like there and then, like in the next day or two. Quite frequently, most people took 4 days, a week. Some people would take longer than that, like 3 months, 4 months even. In fact, we just done a client the other day who I tried setting like 6 months ago, and he wasn't ready at the time for whatever reason. But he actually got back to us. Funnily enough, he actually commented on one of the lead magnets that I'd sent out. And he said, hey, I don't know if you remember me. I'm actually ready to get started with this now. Let's book a call. And signed up on the call. Another client signed. So this stuff is super important. Now, the way I did this was I had like a Google Docs Excel type of sheet where I would just label people and tag people with specific points in the conversation. So is this someone who's responded to me? Is this someone who's a qualified lead who I need to follow up with? Or like any leads that aren't ready to move forward now, I would have like a follow-up label for them. And so on days where the pipeline was dry or competitions weren't as active as they should be, I had a pipeline of like 50 to 100 people that I could literally go back and just say, hey, how are things progressing with you right now? Have you made any any progress since we last spoke, or kind of where are things at with you right now. And yeah, some of them occasionally came forward, said, yeah, look, I'm ready to get started with this. Let's move forward. And some of them say, no, I'm still working on finishing up this project with work. I need like another month or so. And you say, cool, no worries. Let's get back to you in a month or so. But in the meantime, here's something you can watch. And so you're always continuously like nurturing and following up with your pipeline as a setter. It's super, super key. So yeah, this is a diagram to basically explain that. You might have 6 leads or 10 leads even join a page or opt into your whatever it is you're giving out that day. But yeah, very, very few of them came booked into a call today. It was like some of them might come through to a call in 4 days, 5 days. Some of them came through to a call in a week, 2 weeks, and some of them sometimes months, 5-6 months. So that is it. You need to keep on top of your pipeline as a setter, have a really solid tracking document in place to be able to keep on top of this people and make sure that people aren't kind of falling out of your pipeline, getting left behind. And because if you do that, eventually what happens is they say, as you get back to them way too late and they say, oh, hey, I actually moved forward with someone else. That is what happens. The most persistent people and the most persistent marketers, appointment setters, which is a form of marketing in my opinion, are the ones who sign clients and are the ones who win deals. So yeah, that pretty much covers it. These were just very quickly the 4 things that I really found added to my success when I was in my kind of appointment setting stage of my sales journey. So I hope you found value in this, and I hope that helped.